Hello Gemini, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost you anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we have a Queen of Swords. This is a higher perspective. This is a different angle of something, right? This is a card that's asking you to take a step back, rise above all of the emotions right now, okay? Rise above your feelings and take a look at the situation, see what's really going on. All right, now, why don't we do that with a few more cards? Oh, okay, now we got an interesting mix now. Because this is water of air, this is air of water. So it's kind of two energies inside out, right? And maybe this is really a good match, right? Maybe this is a very, very good match. Maybe what we're doing here is we're discovering why we feel the way we feel. What does that mean? When you rise above your feelings, right? When you rise above the situation itself and you take a look at everything that's going on, what do you learn about yourself? I think you're really, you're learning something profound. Let's see what else we've got. 5 of Pentacles, okay. 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords, 4 of Wands, okay. Bit of a challenge here, right? 5 and 5. They feed on each other, these two. Things in the environment aren't going exactly right. You feel kind of discouraged by it. You're starting to doubt things. And then, of course, things don't go completely right, and we do the same thing again. And I think what we're doing is trying to find out, how do we really feel about this 7 of Pentacles? Maybe there was something that really, literally didn't go your way. It didn't come to fruition, whether it was a relationship, a job, a risk that you took, right? A project that you were involved with, something that you made and tried to sell, or a business that you were trying to start. Something didn't quite come to fruition, not yet anyway. And I think what we've got to do is rise above all the tumult. See, the 5 and the 5 is a lot of movement, a lot of motion going on. We're thinking a lot about it. There's a lot happening around us. We're getting worried really about the physical environment, about what's actually taking place, okay? And I think that this is suggesting that we step back, take a look at the bigger picture here. If we look at the bigger picture, we see that this is not a failure. This is just something that has not succeeded yet, right? It has not blossomed, it has not borne fruit yet. Okay. And by taking this broader bird's eye view of things, we really can see what's going on, and we can see that we're really reacting to this situation in a very definite way. I think this is kind of how we're letting our emotions out with this Prince of Cups. Okay, let's finish up the cards and then we'll get into it. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We got a 4 of Wands that leads us to the 6 of Cups. Okay, now, come on. All right, 6 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful. Beautiful, as I like to say. I feel like taking this step back, taking this bigger picture view of things is going to allow you to kind of process the emotions, right? See how we feel about it. But to really You know, I learned that there are 3 stages to our feelings, right? To emotional energy. There's the affect, which is kind of when we just get hit with a reality of something. Something hits us and we can't help but have that kind of, the impact response from some event, right? And I think it was this. I think it's something didn't work out and instantly it affects us, right? And then there is the feeling. Then we start thinking about it. We start feeling it within ourselves. I did something wrong. I can't believe this is happening. I wonder what am I doing wrong? What's going to happen next? Where do I go from here? Right? This is the internal part of it. And then there's the emotion where we emote it out, right? And we start giving it to the world, you know? And I kind of think that's what we're doing right here. And this is all a natural part of the process, right? We have to feel how we feel. But we have to also be aware of how we're feeling and aware of kind of how the response that we have is also affecting the situation. Okay? So something negative happens in our lives. I don't expect us to be indifferent or stoic, right? Not have a reaction. But we have to be able to see our reaction. We have to observe how we're behaving in this situation, and are we making it worse? Or are we trying to go the other way and go this way, the really beautiful way of trying to make it better, right? And the 4 of Wands is the kind of the transition between the two. This is us kind of in this negative experience, whether it's a breakup, it's a loss, it's a business that didn't work out, or, this is the situation that happened. Okay? And of course, we have to feel how we feel. We're not trying to deny our feelings or repress our feelings, but we want to stop them before we start emoting them out and making things worse, creating more worry than we really need. I'm not saying this isn't a serious thing for you. I'm not saying you're making a mountain out of a molehill. I've said that before and I don't like it. If you've heard me say that, I apologize. It doesn't matter if it feels like a mountain. Well, it's an effing mountain, right? Which means we need to be even more careful of how we respond, right? This may feel like the most severe, serious thing that's ever happened to you. It's in the past. I'm not predicting any calamity for you. Something that already happened, something that maybe you're in the middle of dealing with. Okay? It's already happened. But you're in the middle of this response energy. Okay? And I feel like we're doubting things. We're trying to sort out what to do next, how we feel about it. Maybe we're having a lot of doubts, a lot of second thoughts. Maybe we're not being all that nice to ourselves. Okay? Now, since we have all this kind of energy here, I want to do a couple of these affirmation cards. This is the language of flowers. This is an affirmation card that we can use to counteract that negative 5 of swords. But really the 5 of swords now, it gets a bad rap. Every card has light and shadow. 5 of swords is introspection. 5 of swords is how we're talking to ourselves, in this case. Right? It's also sometimes how we're talking to other people. But right now I think it's aimed inward, right? And I think it is at some point going to be aimed outward, because I feel as if we have these kind of 2 options. Either we can be introspective and we can do the Queen of Swords, right? The water of air. We can kind of get a bird's eye view. We can feel how we feel, but we can be somewhat abstracted from those feelings. We don't have to identify exactly with those feelings. The Prince of Cups is the other way around. We are identified with those feelings. Everything we think or feel or do or say, every action we take right now is kind of an expression of how we feel. See, the water's on the outside now. Everybody's getting it. Everybody's noticing it, right? And this one, I think, is a little bit more... a little bit more self-aware, still feels how it feels, right? Let's do our affirmation card, the Forget-Me-Not, remembrance, memories, and the past hold the key. Interesting there with memories and the past. right? Maybe this is not the first go-round. And indeed, it's definitely not. So what is the past? What kind of key does the past hold for you? Do we have a history of reacting to situations in a way that tend to make them worse? Right? Can we look at our past behaviors, our past experiences, and see where something goes from affect to feeling, internal, to then emotion, where we're just letting it fly, we're letting it out, right? Where we're giving it back to the world. We're either blaming the world, or we're lashing out at people, or we're having these outbursts, or whatever it is, right? It's something that's coming out of us. And how that is affecting the situation, which then in turn comes back. It's a vicious cycle, right? So maybe the past is the key to that, because we can see how those stages happen. You know, that we internalize it, and we get introspective, little, not really even introspective. We just aim it inwards and blame ourselves. And then we get even more angry or frustrated or sad or whatever, and then we start pouring that out to the world as kind of the third stage. Well, if we can slow down that progression of stages, if we can, kind of put our hand in front of the dominoes as they're falling and catch this one, then maybe we can work on the internal stuff and not let that emotion all the way out of us to where it's going to affect the environment. And in this case, at least, see with the Five of Pentacles, that it's not making things any better. Okay, so I don't know if you are blaming yourself for what happened, and then we're at the point where that is kind of being then transferred to the world itself, right? Blaming God, spirit, goddess, deity, blaming our boss, blaming our coworkers, friends, blaming the other person in the relationship, right? Whatever it might be. Blaming fate, blaming destiny, yeah. Maybe there doesn't need to really be any blame here. Okay, maybe what we need to do is get this objective viewpoint and say, okay, I feel absolutely terrible about what's going on. I feel miserable. I feel pissed off. I feel, all these things. But what do I need to do? Four of Wands. What do I need to do to keep going forward, to move on from this? Right? What do I need to literally, we get a flat tire in our car. We just yell and scream. I'm such an idiot. I ran over the nail. Then we start blaming the road or the whatever utility trucks on the road that are dropping nails everywhere. And we shake our fists at the whatever Caltrans, God bless them. Or, we just say, okay. And you know what, actually, I heard a really good technique the other day. In a situation like this, whenever something happens that causes that emotional kind of response in us, usually of a negative kind of nature, right? Something doesn't work out, we make a mistake, we drop something, break something negative happens, we experience any kind of hardship or calamity. Get a tape recorder, get your phone out, and tape record yourself talking. Talk out loud as if you were talking to a friend that was going through this situation. You wouldn't yell and scream and berate them, right? You would say, okay, that sucks. I definitely feel your pain right now, but let's clean this up. Let's take care of these things over here. Let's take a few deep breaths and let's move on. Let's get the tire fixed. I'll get the spare out, right? We're still early for the appointment. We're not going to be late. It's going to be okay. Record yourself talking as if it was a different person going through this. And then do that several times, right? And then go back and listen to it at the beginning, right? Or just understand how difficult it might be for you in that moment to even do that, to calm ourselves down enough to give the advice to our friend, that's going through this situation. And I think that really is a technique that we can assign to the Queen of Swords here, right? Rising above the situation and being kind of objective. It's kind of like, what would your best friend say to you right now? And that's what I want you to put into the tape recorder, right? If you decide to do this exercise. But the Four of Wands, this is what we got to do to kind of get things moving again. Get mad, shake your fist at the sky, punch your pillow, tear a phone book in half, whatever you got to do. But then take a deep breath, because we have more work to do, right? This is not over. By any means, we see with these cards that this is not going to be a no-win situation. This is a Seven of Pentacles. There is still potential here. We have a 6. And to do the 6, we have interesting stuff here, right? We've got the 7, obviously. We've got the 6, the 5, the 4, right? We've got a 5 and another 6 here. But we kind of have this this implication even that, okay, things seem really, really bad now. Seems 7 of Pentacles, failure now, like just catastrophic. Breathe, count down from 10, 10, 9, 8, okay. Now I'm calm. What do I got to do? Got to change the tire. Okay, what does that mean? Well, I got to get the jack, I got to get the tire, got to get the tire iron, whatever it is. Got to put something down on the road so when I kneel down, I'm not scraping up my knees. I've had to change a lot of tires in my life. There's never a convenient time to get a flat tire. It's never like, oh, it's not so bad. It takes a lot of effort to not just scream at the sky, because you're on your way somewhere. You're trying to get to a destination, and now it's going to, half an hour maybe? If you're fast, half an hour. And hopefully you got a spare tire, right? But we need to do what we can to get the car moving again. Now, we're over here. 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles. This is almost like this never happened over here. Now we've got the perfect day, the absolute perfect harmony, right? These two, this is the best day of your life, and you've never felt better. But what? We just went through this over here. How do we now have this here? I think this is reminding us that, for one, we can always salvage the day. Okay, that there's always something to be positive about. Okay, and this might be, we sometimes get something bad happens. So there's some catastrophe, some calamity that happens, and people might tell us, well, just think of how much worse it could have been, right? Or think about the people all over the world that are suffering. At least you're not them, right? You got a flat tire. Oh, boo-hoo, right? I don't agree with that, with that technique, because then I feel like now I have to, not only do I feel terrible about what this, calamity is, but now I've got to feel bad or guilty or ashamed that I'm even upset about it. Because no, I'm not starving in the street somewhere. It's just a flat tire. But this is the worst part of my day, right? But now you want me to feel guilty for being frustrated, for being upset, right? So I don't do that. If we feel upset about something, well, in the moment, this is us, this is our world, this is our reality, this is what's going on in our life, and this is the worst part of your day, right? But then we've got these 6s. We've got the beauty and harmony. We've got the, we've got the magic and the resonance still taking place. We've got this life that is still functioning. And I think that what we've got to do here is we've got to look at the bigger picture again, and see, okay, we got a flat tire, but I'm still going to be on time for this. I've still got a really great life. I've still got my health, because things could be a lot worse. So it's not that I'm ashamed for feeling upset, but now I'm just trying to get past it and move on and look at the beauty of the day still before me. Try to look at the bright side of things. And it's not about denying how we feel. It's not about saying, oh, it's just a molehill, I made a mountain out of it, silly me. No, it was a mountain. And it's terrible. But we sometimes have to count our blessings, right? And you think, okay, well, I had a spare tire, thankfully. I got it fixed. I'm going to get back into my car. I'm going to make it to where I was going. I'm not going to be late. This is one little blip in your lifetime. I don't remember all the flat tires that I had. I remember a couple of them that were particularly inconvenient, but I don't remember all of them. I don't remember every bad thing that's ever happened to me. It's one little speed bump on a larger picture. And so we have to look at this in the moment. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. But in the bigger picture, it's okay. I'm going to get through this. It's not really going to ruin my day. It's certainly not going to ruin my life, right? And maybe it's not a flat tire for you. Maybe this is something bigger. Maybe it's the loss of a job, or God forbid, the loss of a loved one. Maybe it's a breakup, the loss of a relationship. But you've got to look at yourself, look at your life. Are you okay? Right? You still have a lot, right? There's still success here. Now, what I think is going on, when we look at these, I think that it's kind of, once we get past once we deal with this and we get back on the road and we start to feel better and we start thinking, okay, that wasn't so bad. I'm okay. Life is still going on. I'm all right. I'm not leaking anywhere. The car's still in good shape. And then I think what really is opening up is this realization that, wait a minute, this is not the failure that you thought it was. This is something that has not come to fruition yet. Now, whether maybe it's a breakup, well, maybe that breakup is leading to you meeting somebody that is truly, truly special and really is the one that you kind of aren't even going to remember that person's name, right? Same with the loss of a job, right? I believe things happen for a reason. I don't think that reason is predetermined. I don't think we can always know what the reason is. But everything that happens in my life, I accept it. I don't like it. I scream and holler and cry and break stuff and tear phone books. Not really, maybe a sheet of paper. But it happened, right? And I know that because that happened, that set off a whole series of events, kind of butterfly effect, right? That's going to set off a whole chain of events that is altering the course of my life in some way. That's what life is. The good things and the bad things both alter the course of our lives. Okay, so these calamities are just as necessary to life as the big wins, as the celebrations, right? But I think what this is doing is that you're going to end up realizing that this happened for a reason. Because this is setting you up for now the success that you really truly do want. This is the material success. This is material failure. This is, we did an experiment, it fizzled out, it didn't work. This is now doing something and it does work out. And I think we have to go through this failure is just the prototype for success. If this is a failed relationship, a failed business, whatever it is, it's absolutely necessary as a step toward the success that you're after. Okay, it's kind of a stepping stone almost, if you will. But what we see with the next card, the Ten of Wands, this is you exhausting yourself with this emotion. We expend so much energy in our feelings through our emotive energy. We burn up so much of our vitality. And this is what we don't want. The Ten of Wands is in the position of what we don't want. We don't want to give all of this vitality dissipated out into the ether through our emotions. Okay? So we need to get a handle on this, and we need to channel it into productivity and start, and apply it to the right kind of, mechanisms. Otherwise, we're going to run out of steam. This is just, and I'm sure, when we are very, very emotional, we have a very emotional day. By the end of the day, we're exhausted. It's physically exhausting to be, in that emotion for really any period of time. Yeah. And that's what the Ten of Wands here is talking about, that kind of expenditure of energy. We don't want to exhaust all of our vitality, all of our creative energy in this situation here. Being angry or frustrated or lamenting or wrapped up in the worry and the kind of internal feelings about it. What we got to do is take positive action, constructive action, be proactive here. Realize I never selected the mystery card. Let's do that now. See, I got wrapped up in all this. This is one card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. It's the Factor Infinite and Unknown, soon to be known. We're going to put it right there with Kevin, a.k.a. Mr. Bates. Kevin is Kevin Malone from The Office. Mr. Bates is from Downton Abbey. Two of my favorite shows. Just saying. We're going to have to look at that mystery card now. If you have a prediction for it, though, put it in the comments. What do we think it's going to be? I think it may be another 6. I think that would be cool. A 6 of Wands maybe would be nice. We have a 6 of Cups and a 6 of Pentacles. We have an Ace of Pentacles. Maybe we need the Ace of Cups, right? We need that other matching component. See, this is when you kind of get yourself in order, the 6 of Cups, right? We get ourselves in order. We start feeling okay again. We're back. Okay, that's behind me. The tire's fixed. I'm back on the road. I'm driving to my appointment. I'm not going to be late. Everything's going to be fine. We have that moment of tranquility. And in that moment of tranquility, then we can see all these benefits. Then we can start seeing the good stuff again, right? So maybe the good stuff here with the mystery card. I'm thinking Ace of Cups, right? What do you think? Let's take a look. Yes, Ace of Cups. Look at that. Ace of Cups. This is now kind of, this is the unexpected blessing of this, right? I think something truly stunning is entering your life. And I feel like it had to happen. This has to happen. Okay? And maybe right now you can't see why this is a good thing. And I don't think it is. It's not a good thing. It feels terrible, right? But I think that there is an unexpected blessing coming from this. This is that failed relationship. Good, because now you're going to meet your soulmate. This business failed. Good, because you're finding where you really have the talent, the skill, the energy, the will, the love, right? I think this is true love coming into your life. And it might be in the form of a relationship. Yeah. I wonder if this is mostly relationship stuff. Mostly. Yeah. Even with the 6s here, I kind of feel as if with the 6s, we're talking about your support system, right? The loved ones, your friends, family that support you during this calamity, calling it a calamity. And this is you kind of getting back to the routine, the harmony of your life as a way of, kind of storing up or generating more of this creative, vital energy. Because I feel like we are spending a lot of it in this feeling, in this emotion. And now we're kind of getting back to a good, stable, harmonious state of things. And maybe this is a state of readiness. Maybe we're in this kind of this semi-perfection of the 6s, and we're ready for that. We're ready for that true love. We're ready for that thing, that blessing that comes next, right? This is truly stunning. And I think you're transitioning out of this calamity, and you're into this now. You're in a good place. You're going to be in a good place, and you'll see this coming. And this is going to make you very happy. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There's one down below. New readings for Gemini, Monday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, does not cost you anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.